Robert Chandler, are you disappointed by what seems to be a lack of fresh institutional buying, as it seems, um, as it seems to have been one-way selling traffic by those that supported the IPO? Retail dominates the holding list. Look, we're a new technology. We're a cryptocurrency mining company. Lots of institutions don't get it. They don't understand crypto yet. There's more and more that are starting to get it, that are coming on board. I'm very happy communicating, our message with retail shareholders. I think retail has been really good for us, and you've seen some huge volume of, shares traded lately with Argo, and that's a good thing. So, I would lie. I'd be lying if I said we don't want we want everyone. We want retail. We want institutions to be buying our shares. We do. What I will say is we have just signed recently with a new broker, FinCap. So we're working closely with them. We're doing a roadshow this week actually, and getting out and talking to more institutions. So hopefully there will be more institutions that see the opportunity and see the value in this kind of new technology, in this new space, and in our company. SMAC. As Argo is my biggest holding, I'm happy to see the progress being made. Great. What is the strategy to close the consideration value gap against peers? For example, why is HUT 8 market cap 2.4x? Argo makes no sense. Will dual listing close gap or some other plan? Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to compare, companies that are listed in other jurisdictions with your company, and it's hard to get into the head of investors in, the United Kingdom versus investors in North America. Right now, we are traded on the London Stock Exchange. There's advantages and disadvantages to that. HUT 8, was traded earlier than us. It came out, it went public before us. So they had an advantage to that. They're also traded in North America, a larger investor base, arguably more technologically savvy investor base. So, the strategy for us is to do well, is to run an efficient, effective company in a smart way, and that's what we've been doing in 2020. And to tell the story, to get out there and communicate with shareholders and investors, and to look at opportunities to get North Americans to buy our shares. So we're doing all of that, and it would be, obviously we look very closely at what our publicly traded competitors in the space are doing, and I would be lying to you if I said it wasn't frustrating that we see other companies with larger market caps that we look like, that on paper are performing worse than us, on paper and in actuality from the metrics that I look at, whether you're looking at revenue or mining margin or whatever it is. We feel like we're a very strong company having a really good year. So hopefully the market, and you have to believe the market in the long term recognizes value, and we think we're running an effective company. My second question relates to your accounting policy on depreciation and how often this is revisited. Based on BTC pricing, my assumption is that the useful life may be longer than implied by your depreciation rate. If so, can this be revisited for accounts? More of a question for our finance director. We have thought about extending it to 4 years. Some companies do 4 years. Some companies do 2 years. We've decided that 3 years is kind of the right life cycle. But it's a good question. So yes, we have thought about it. We have talked about it, but we're comfortable right now with the 3 years depreciation period. Is the past merger deal with Hive a possibility moving forward? I cannot comment on any possibility with Hive. They're doing interesting things. They've obviously had a really interesting year. Ethereum is a big part of what they do, and it's come back in a really great way this year. So it's good for them. They've got some older machines mining Ethereum, which are still doing really well, which is awesome. Rohan Menendez, thanks for the idea, guys. Could you please let us know potential drawbacks, obstacles of a dual listing aside from the expenses? So I started the conversation talking about this, and obviously many of you have asked about a dual listing. So I've already commented on it. It's an interesting idea. Cracking job so far, Peter and the team. Keep it up. Thank you, Rohan. Appreciate it.